thing for podcasting, all this fun stuff. You there?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, we're at 9 o'clock now?
We're gonna pass.
Okay. Please forgive us technical things trying to record stuff and put it on YouTube for future posterity, you might say. Welcome to the Christianity and Anime panel. My name is Robert Pi Allen. I'm currently the president of the NC Rowan County Anime Group, and this is one of my members, and I'm going to introduce you to him. So it's your go, my man.
Oh, okay. Well, my name's JR, and I'm part of the staff here, and I do a few panels too.
Mm-hmm. One request real quick. We want to have a moment of silence. This panel is dedicated to a dear friend of mine, Sam Granger, who is no longer with us. So if we can have just a moment of silence, please, in memory of Sam. Thank you very much for that moment. Sam was one of the reasons why got this panel actually started, because he worked on a series called, for the Christian Broadcasting System. He was novelizing the Superbook. The animation was done over in Japan, and Sam was commissioned by the Christian Broadcasting System to try to draw a novel of the Superbook. He had an old style beta machine, and, you know, that was when we had beta and VHS. The two were rivals, and Sam got himself a beta machine. He was putting in the Superbook and was, you know, drawing the animation to novelize the Superbook so they could sell it to the Christians and stuff. And that's how, and Sam always liked that project. He really was in love with it. He felt like he was doing really good work for God. And he was always proud of that project. We talked about it many times while he was still alive. I also made a promise this year during this particular panel, because last year we have critics, you know. You take the good with the bad at times. And one of my critics last year said, "Hey Rob, you forgot to cover this subject, and we're going to have to cover it this time around. Please do not be offended by what I've said or anything. Please take it with a grain of salt." But there have been animes in the past where they played Christians as villains. And my friend pointed out a few facts that, you know, that in some Japanese animes there are times where Christians have been played as the villains because they went off the righteous path and they were pursuing their own agenda instead of the Lord's work. Best example I can give is SE, otherwise the church, which for some reason they like drawing the Catholic Church. The bishop in that Progress went corrupt and was doing some things in it that, you know, no sensible, even reasonable human would do. He was exploiting children for had natural abilities that, you know, they could teleport themselves, they could do a lot of stuff, and he was basically using them as guinea pigs for weapons, you know, because they sent in a weapon and see how the kids would destroy it and then build a better weapon and say, okay, we can use it against other people who had special abilities. But at the end, that guy just finally got his just desserts and died. There are animes also too that, you know, Christians have been the heroes and helped out a whole lot. I'm going to give this over to JR so he can have something to say.
Sure. Now, just for information, Robert's more of a Protestant, and I'm actually a Catholic. And I really don't have a problem with these animes because I just have to remind myself, these are parodies of these religions. And if you can't laugh at yourself, then you really have no business laughing at anybody else. So you really got to remember that they're not trying to insult you. And one of my friends pointed out to me that Catholic means universal. It's supposed to be the universal church, and it is the most widely recognized. Mainly because we have so many old rituals, and, you know, the priests have certain vestments they wear at different times of the year, and it's very easy for an animator to draw that because they have a lot of material to work from, and it's so recognized. And I mean, even things like Helsing. Helsing, he works for a kind of a Protestant church, and then you have his rival that works for the Catholic church, and you just got to remember, they're not trying to insult you. They're just looking for material. And humans, we're not as creative as we think we are. Every year I look at the list of the most commonly used passwords, and it's always the same. You know, we draw upon what we know, and you just got to keep that in mind when watching these animes.
It's not disrespect that you know,
Yeah.
it's respect that, you know, there was a anime called The Legend of the Green Run. It was shown on the Sci-Fi Channel back in the early part of the 1990s, and I didn't want to show it to Tim, you know, because I afraid it would offend him. So I eventually broke down and said, okay, I'll let you see this, and I apologize for, you know, told him I don't mean to offend you, and he looked at me and said, that's fine, you know, he didn't see no problem with it. Like I said, that in Japanese animation, they do play, you know, different types of things of Christianity. I remember in a series called Sylvia, Second Foundation, there's actually a Christmas story that you did in it, and one of the characters actually quotes a few verses from the Bible in the English dub. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, I have seen Christians also be played as a joke, you know, like in Akari Under the Bridge, you got a character called the Sister, and he is like Arnold Schwarzenegger, machine gun, happy, would throw you a few hand grenades, and it's a satire on, you know, Christianity. But like I said, that's, you know, they do like to pick fun times at Christianity. One other point I'd like to make, there are a lot of, you know, symbols that you would see in animes, like let's say Neon Genesis Evangelion, you actually see a cross, you know, in that. Chronos Crusade, very good one. You know, you got the Magdalene Order fighting the demons, and so that's fun. I'll let you guys go now.
And also Trinity Blood.
Yeah, Trinity Blood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely Trinity
that's
Blood.
like, I mean, I'm
Well,
Catholic.
you-
I'm Catholic, and I'm not offended by any of that.
Right.
It's just an anime, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the devout Catholics would probably take exception
Yeah,
to
yeah.
to Father Abel being a vampire killer
Right.
and being a priest, you know. But I'm not offended.
But,
I
you
mean,
know,
I'm not. I mean, I don't go to church every week because I work, you know, and I, you know, can't get the time off. But I'm not offended at all about that or Chrono Crusade. I thought they were both good animes.
Yeah.
now, I have, you know, mostly the things that offend me are actually done in the West, you know, in America. You know, some of the things that are made here are what offend me. A lot of stuff in Japanese is done in humor. And, you know, you just, like I said, you just got to be able to laugh at yourself
Yeah,
sometimes.
I mean,
And know that it's not serious.
yeah.
One of the things that with the Superbook, you know, since that was a really early 1980s anime, it was basically about like two children and this robot going through Bible stories. I thought that was very nice. A person one time emailed me and said, hey, I need something for my kid. Can you make a suggestion? And I said, okay, the Superbook and the Flying House would be two of them. Also, too, the Magic Box is another one that somebody recently told me about. I need to go check out as far as animated Christian themes in it. We are going to open this up to questions. Does anybody have any questions they would like to ask? Feel free to chime in. Or we'll just keep coming back and forth with me and JR all day until this panel gets done in about an hour. Does anybody have any questions?
Any topics at all?
Any comments?
Have you watched Aldo Exorcist?
No, I haven't seen that one yet. Can you give me a little background on it?
It's basically about these two brothers, and they are born into a priest's family. And well, yeah, and basically, I don't want to spoil it or anything, but the one is born as a demon,
Mhm.
and it follows the story of them and they're becoming exorcists, getting rid of demons and stuff. And there's a lot of verses from the Bible used in it, especially towards the end.
Oh,
And
really?
you see Satan a lot. It's interesting.
Mhm. No, it's something you go check out sometime, JR.
And then again, you got symbols there like Satan that they can easily draw upon, and they get a lot of back source material, and that makes it really easy for the animators to come up with their ideas because they're basing it on material that's already out there. And as far as exorcisms go, there's actually different levels of exorcism in the Catholic Church. The lightest one is just a blessing. And what happens there is the priest usually takes a few days to get himself ready, make sure he's as good as he can be.